Now, we're just going to start off with talking about the work of your foundation, which is focusing its efforts on improving security across Africa. Which countries would you say are of particular concern right now?
Well, there's virtually no country in Africa which is not crying for efforts to improve human security. There's no country, whether it's in the south or in the north, in the east or in the west. So what we have done, because we cannot be everywhere at the same time, we have chosen 15 countries that sort of cut across Africa, small, large, Francophone, Anglophone, Lusophone, Arabophone, where we can at least work, so that if we work in the 5 areas of that we have chosen for human security in Africa, in these 15 countries, in the next 3 years, other countries can then see that, well, it's a matter of time. We will come to them. And we can say, look, if we are working, for instance, in, say, in Kenya, we'll say, look, it's a matter of time we will come to Rwanda. Or if we are working in Tanzania, it's a matter of time we will come to Mozambique. If we are working in Mozambique, it's a matter of time we will come to Botswana. Now, this is the way we have sort of taken our program for the next 3 years. And we hope that if we are able to cover these 15 countries effectively in 1 or 2 or 3 of areas of our focus, we can then expand. And this is what we have done.
Well, now let's take a look at Nigeria more specifically.
Yeah.
Which is facing a major security threat with the escalation of terrorism. Now, there have been reports in the media that you've been meeting with relatives of senior members of Boko Haram and intermediaries to find a way to free the kidnapped girls. Can you confirm these reports and what's been the outcome of some of these meetings?
Well, one of the things that I thought we needed to do immediately with the abduction of the girls is to make sure that where we already have problem of girl-child education, that the abduction of those girls will not further discourage people sending their daughters to school. So one of the things we did immediately was to go to Jigawa, which is northern part of the country, and adopt a girls' school. They have about 750 girls in that school. We've adopted that school. We have looked at that school. I visited the school myself. I met everybody, and we are with the governor, and we are looking at what we can do to enhance the quality of education in that school, and things that they don't have that we can give. They have a computer laboratory, for instance, or class. They need air conditioner to keep the computer bright and in the class. Now, that type of thing, they need toilet facilities. Now, little things that will make that will enhance the standard of education, the atmosphere for education, and they are all girls.
But looking more specifically at the situation in Nigeria right now, where there are over 200 girls who've been kidnapped, can you confirm reports that you've been involved in this negotiation process?
Well, not in the negotiation. What I have done is people have forgotten that 3 years ago, I went to Maiduguri. Actually, that was when Boko Haram attacked the UN building in Abuja. And they accepted the responsibility. Then I went to Abuja to find out from security leaders, Inspector General of Police, National Security Advisor. Now, who are these? What are they? What is their objective? Do they have grievances? Can we reach out to them? Now, the feeling I got was that, they're a bunch of riffraffs, just forget about them. And then went to the president and said, look, could I take it upon myself to go on fact-finding visit? I want to find out. And the president was gracious. He said, look, I trust your judgment. You can do that. So I went. And, but of course I couldn't do that without people leading me. So there was a lawyer who of course knew most of them and knew their leaders, and I actually, he acted as proxy to talk to them and talk to me and communicated my thought and my idea, my question to them. Then, of course, I reported to the two important principals, the state governor and the president at that time. Well, I believe that if action had been taken at that time, as was recommended, maybe we would not have got to this stage. So at this time, it occurred to me that, oh, look, we had this lawyer. Well, for almost 3 years, I haven't really seen him. Is he alive? If he is alive, is he available? If he's available, his machinery which he used that time to get in touch with them, is it still with that machinery? Can he still get in touch with them? So I called the lawyer, and he came. I couldn't locate him, but the man who located him for me at that time also located him. And the lawyer came, and I said, well, look, nice to see you. Tell me, you are well? I said, yes, I'm well. You are available in case, well, I said, I'm available. Okay, in that case, you are still able to, if the need arises, to link up with this. He said, yes, okay. We'll leave it at that. I have not been mandated by anybody, but now that I know you are there, you are available, I will take the next step, which is to let the authorities know. And then I don't know whether the authorities, they are doing something that is different, but when the authorities know, if the authorities will want to pursue this line that I want to pursue, then I will come back to you. Now, that was meant to be discreet and confidential, but the man who came with the lawyer, who normally likes publicity, I believe, was the one who broke that silence. Because I haven't told the president. And if I will have to go further than just exploring, the president must know.
Okay. Now, I know that you've been quite critical of the way President Jonathan has handled the Boko Haram problem, and you recently told the international press that he was overwhelmed by this issue. How do you think he should have handled the kidnapping of the schoolgirls?
Well, the kidnapping, for instance, or the abduction. No. The president did not believe that those girls were abducted for almost 18 days. Now, if the president got the information within 12 hours of the act and he reacted immediately, I believe those girls will have been rescued within 24 hours, maximum 48 hours. Don't forget, almost 300 girls. The logistics for moving them, it's something. And if action had been taken immediately, but unfortunately, the president had doubt. Is this true, or is it a ploy for people who don't want me to be president again, who are doing this and all that? I think that was the unfortunate aspect of the whole exercise, or the whole situation.
Now, as someone who supported President Jonathan in getting into office, do you feel somewhat disappointed, or even perhaps responsible for the current state of affairs?
Responsible for
the current state of affairs? Do you feel, because you helped him get into office, do you feel any sense of
this idea of helping, I don't like it, because people say, well, you help. No, it's God who put him there. Now, God uses people as instruments, and I've always been this. There's nobody who gets into a position that will not have got the help of one or group of people. I didn't become what I have become in life without the help of some people. If, for instance, I hadn't been sent to the war front, and then God enabled me to perform in the war front, my star will not have been as bright as it has been. So I think this question of you help and you do not help, I always tell the president himself that, look, if God doesn't want him to be there, he won't be there. God wants you to be there. Instrumentality of people, yes, because God wants you to be there. And having been there, you have to perform. That's my own way of what I believe. Yes, you get there. When you get there, no matter how, just perform. Just perform. And keep on performing.
And are you disappointed at his performance?
Well, it's not disappointment. I don't believe he has performed up to the expectation of many Nigerians, not just me.
Okay. Now I know this week the president rejected your endorsement of Governor Sule Lamido of Jigawa State as his running mate in next year's election. Does this signal some sort of rift within the People's Party?
I don't know, because when I was there, he never told me he's running for election. And but when people like you, journalists, ask me look, I say, well, look, he has never told me he's running for election. But if he chooses, for what I know of him, because he worked with me, he will be shoulder to shoulder with some of those who have shown interest. That's all I said. But he has never told me that he's running. So if he's running, good luck to him.
Now going back to the security situation in Nigeria, according to the Nigerian right-hand political activist Wale Soyinka, who everyone knows, he's traced the rise of Boko Haram when Zamfara State declared Sharia law in 2011, and then 11 states followed suit. And that was during your time in office. And we just wanted to know whether you had regrets about not upholding Nigeria's secular constitution throughout the country.
Well, the Nigerian secular constitution remains. Nigeria's secular constitution remains. Nigerian constitution is very secular. In fact, we use the word multi-religious nation. That's the word that is in our constitution. Multi-religious nation. You cannot be secular than that. If secular is, of course, non-religious, then we are not secular. If multi-religious, we are. That is what is in our constitution is not secular. What is in our constitution is multi-religious nation. And Nigeria remains a multi-religious nation. And that was the constitution that was devised or designed under my watch in what was called 1979 Constitution. And the 1999 Constitution repeated exactly what was in the 1979 Constitution, multi-religious nation.
But with the rise of Boko Haram, do you feel that perhaps there's a need to have a secular constitution, aside from religion?
No. Nigerians are religious people. And I don't believe that, in fact, many Nigerians will not accept that. I will not accept that. I want to have a religious nation. And it doesn't matter to me what religion a man or a woman may belong to. I want to see a religious person rather than an atheist.
Now, terrorism, of course, is an international issue. And there have been recently a former Nigerian diplomat, Bola Dada, who served in Sudan, has talked about providing information to your administration about links between Osama bin Laden and Boko Haram. Did you receive such information? Can you confirm that?
No. When 3 years ago I went out to find out about an organization and what was the aim of the organization, and they said they are Sharia, they have grievances, they stated their grievances and all that, and I reported back to the state governor and to the president. I asked this same lawyer who acted as proxy, I said, look, is there any external involvement? As at that time, the man told me not external involvement in the way that I would say there's an organization or anything, but there must be some form of external support. And his explanation was that, look, I know the leaders. They're not men of means, but they're sending people with new equipment, new materials across the border and all that. And so his own idea was that either there are Nigerians who had means abroad who are supporting them, or there are people abroad who had means and who are supporting them, but not in the time in the nature of the type of support you would be thinking of, or I would be thinking of, that there's an Islamic organization out there that was supporting them, as at that time. Now, and he said to me, oh, maybe that support would be 15–20%. But of course, things have changed since then. Again, which leads to one thing. These things are like sores, wound. If you don't attend to them, they fester and become a big thing. They may even lead to gangrene. And you may have to even amputate the leg or the hand if your sore festers badly.
So during your time in office, you didn't hear about any links with Osama bin Laden?
No. The objective was Sharia, and Sharia is in our constitution, so there's nothing wrong with Sharia. And if you can convince your adherents to practice Sharia, good enough. And in some states made their law, Sharia law, of amputating hand for stealing, stoning for adultery. Only one man amputated one hand, and he never did again in Zamfara. And after some time, I saw him and I said, hey, Governor, no thief in your state again? You haven't amputated any other hand? He said, I will never do it again. That one cost me so much. And in the end, I regard it as a mistake. There it is.
Now, as other countries like Kenya grapple with terrorism, do you think there should be a continental-wide effort to combat this growing issue? And how should the international community also assist African nations?
No, I think the issue of terrorism must be disaggregated, because terrorism, of course, generally is a bad thing. But then, what is the genesis of terrorism in your own country, or in your own community, or in your own region? And you have to find a way of dealing with terrorism in your own community, in your own country, and in your own religion, in your own region. Now, what we must also avoid is what I call linking of spread and linking of terrorism from one place to another. If we allow that to happen, it will consume all of us, particularly in Africa.
And finally, do you think there needs to be, that the continent needs to join together to fight it, or do you think it's an individual?
I believe that where there should be sharing of intelligence, information, but each country, each community must deal with it. Where there is need to work together, yes, but information and intelligence must be shared.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your time. Very good to meet you.